What percentage chance do you give Kyrie of opting out of that Brooklyn contract to take the Lakers' $6 million exemption?
I think I said on Tuesday it was 1%. I'm all the way down to 0.05%.
You're kidding.
Skip, Kyrie lost over $15 million last year because of the vaccine mandate and not being able to play.
I think it's closer to 17.
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
go ahead.
Okay, let's go. Okay, so we go.
Right.
Let's do 17 for the sake of this discussion.
Okay.
He just lost $17 million last year. Now you want him to opt out, take $30 million less. So that's $47 million over 2 years just to play basketball. Skip, I think the thing is, and he said basketball is not the most important thing. He didn't say money, because if money wasn't the issue, he would say, you know what, damn that max contract. Guys, I want you to, I'm going to take less than the max, and I want you guys to put guys around KD and myself to increase our opportunity to win. He says, I want you to max me out. So obviously money is very important to Kyrie Irving. Kyrie, look, I understand that he said the earth is flat and he had a lot of other conspiracy theories, but Kyrie's not a fool. You're not taking $30 million less after losing $17 million to go play for the Lakers.
Yep.
So I don't see that scenario materializing. If I was Kyrie, look, and Skip, a lot of this might be just grandstanding. Threatening to leave, knowing that the ripple effect that it could potentially have on Kevin Durant. Kyrie leaves, what will Kevin Durant? Will Kevin Durant ask for a trade? And he's going to play that card. That's the card that I have. My best friend is the best player on this team. And if I leave, there's a chance that he leaves. So Kyrie's going to play this. This might be a whole lot of to-do about nothing. How much rumblings can I make? I want the max. I want $250, and I want it for a total of 5 years. I don't want you to give me a 1+1. I pick up this option, have another year at a max con. No, I want it all the way through. And the Brooklyn Nets says, nah, bro, we don't really trust you like that, because we've seen some things that we don't like in a max player. And if we're trying to win a championship, we don't like this going and coming at your leisure. So, Skip, for me, I don't see this materializing. I do not see Kyrie opting out of a $36 million contract to go sign a $6 million contract. In other words, in our community, we say that's hustling backwards. In other words, what you try to do, Skip, you try to start out a little and then get a lot. You don't get a lot and then try to go back to a little. So I don't really see this scenario happening. I know it's at the term you use, pie in the sky, fantasy land, wishful thinking. That's very wishful thinking. If you're a Laker fan thinking that Kyrie Irving is going to opt out of a $36 million contract to sign a $6 million contract after losing excess over 15, almost somewhere between 15 and $17 million. So for me, 0.0000005%. There's a chance, but I think it's very minute and infinitesimal at best.
And I am 1,000% shocked at your stance this morning, because I was prepared for you to come out here shaking your purple pom-poms.
No.
I was prepared for you to come out wearing purple-colored glasses this morning.
No. Skip,
I thought this was Kyrie, here we come.
No, Skip, if you told me Kyrie's opting out of a $36 million contract to go sign a $30 million contract with the Lakers, okay, now, Skip,
Okay.
now Skip, we about to get Kyrie, but $30 million haircut?
Okay. Speaking of 30, I'm going to go all the way up to a 35% chance that Kyrie is a Laker next year.
Man,
and the reason I'm going to do that is because of Kyrie Irving, the man we have come to know and often not love, the ultimate contrarian and the ultimate maverick. And I don't mean Dallas Maverick. I mean against the grain.
Right.
I mean trailblazing thinker. I'm talking about against all odds, against all public perceptions. He is always thinking completely outside the box. He is a mold shatterer by nature. Am I right about that? He is a flat earther who still believes that, I think, the Illuminati run the world.
Right.
And because of all that, you have a very intriguing and rare human being you are dealing with right here, right now, who has turned 30 years of age and is frankly sort of done with everything that he's accomplished in the National Basketball Association. I think he's basically semi-retired in his head. His passion has waned. Basketball has fallen down the list of his priorities. But we're talking about a proud, proud, proud man. I think you would agree with that, who considers himself an artiste in the basketball realm.
Yes.
Who looks down at everybody beneath him as in, how dare you cross me? How dare you do this to me? Well, the how dare yous right now are the people running the Nets. And I read in the Woj article that they're trying to take back a measure of leverage. I got to tell you, they got none.
No.
They got a big 0% leverage right now.
They would have leverage if that 7-foot monster wasn't on their team.
Okay.
They would have a boatload of leverage.
But let's discuss him. What happened early this past regular basketball season? Kyrie obviously refused to get vaccinated.
Right.
It ultimately destroyed the unity of this basketball team. It ultimately sent James Harden packing for Philly.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, early on, they finally decided as a group from the owner on down, pretty much hell with him.
Right.
Like, if that's what he's going to do, we don't want him around.
Correct.
I read, according to several reports, that his closest friend on this flat earth, Kevin Durant, said, I'm with the organization on this one. We don't want him around. You don't think that sent silent shockwaves to Kyrie? He's a very smart man. He saw the handwriting. He knew that Kevin was on their side as opposed to on his side.
Yeah, but then what happened?
They crawled back.
Okay, then. So now he knows Kevin is back on his side.
I'm not sure about that. I just don't know if the bridge got set on fire with Kevin. I do know that this is the ultimate disrespect to a Kyrie Irving to say, hey, look, you're just not a max player anymore because we don't trust you.
Right.
That's the message they're sending.
Right, correct.
We just don't believe in you, and we definitely don't believe in you for the long term. So how about 1 year or maybe 2? Let's go 2 years.
Yes.
That's what they're presenting right now.
Yes.
That's what they're haggling over.
Yes.
I got to tell you, once you open that door with this young man, you got problems that might be irreparable problems.
Okay.
Because you have offended him at his deepest level. You just don't believe in me anymore.
Right.
And I think they've sent a pretty strong message. We're not going to let you run this franchise, as he said after they lost their 4th straight game to the Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
He said, Kevin and I are going to manage this franchise along with Joe and along with Sean. No, they're saying, no, we're in charge here.
Exactly.
And we don't believe you want to play that much longer because you have spoken openly of retiring in your early 30s and you are now 30 years of age.
Correct.
So my point to you is, what has been the one point of his career that sticks in Kyrie's craw more than any? It was falling apart with LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
I was told they fell apart, issue they had personal off the court.
Right.
But there was on the court of, you're shooting more, you're caring too much about your stats. The
access that LeBron's guys got.
That's a whole other issue.
That Kyrie's people could not get.
Yeah. So Kyrie thought he got fuller and fuller of himself, and they obviously they had won a championship together in 16, but in 17 they did not win a championship.
Right.
It just probably self-destructed right before your
We know
very
Kevin
eyes.
Durant had a lot to do with that. Jordan to Golden State.
They were not right that year. They were not right in those finals. And Kyrie said, get me out of here. And I'm still shocked that Dan Gilbert, I guess maybe being a little more anti-LeBron still, and I couldn't believe LeBron went back and made peace with him. I don't think he ever made peace. He just coexisted with him. But the point was, he was like, yeah, Kyrie, you want out? I'll get you. Where would you like to go? How about Boston?
Right.
Would that make you happy? Yes, sir. That would make me happy. Let's go to Boston. And he went to Boston, and you know the rest of the story, right? Mm-hmm. And he went to Brooklyn, and we know the rest of that story because nothing's really happened yet.
Right.
So it's incredible to me that the Brooklyn Nets went into this past regular season as not only the bettor's choice to win the whole thing, number one, right? But we were talking about the greatest 3 offensive players ever on the same team, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And it has come to this. It has completely blown up right before your very eyes.
Yeah, it has disintegrated.
Okay.
Skip, you remember, Skip, if you were after the 2017 and Kevin Durant had just got to Golden State, they won the title, they were talking to Kyrie. And Kyrie said at the after the game press conference, he said, why would I want to leave this? I'm playing alongside the best player. He just averaged a triple-double, and then a month, 2 later, he wants out. If Kyrie valued championships, he would have never left LeBron. I don't believe that's the #1 motivating factor for Kyrie. Now, I don't know what is, But that's not it. You can't say, Skip, that I'm a martyr.
Yep.
Where he says, I want to stick up for the people that doesn't have a voice. Well, the people that didn't get the vaccine mandate, they didn't get a salary, Kyrie. They didn't get a salary. You was getting your road salary. So it wasn't like a situation where you're trying to be Dr. King. Dr. King, when he signed in for those boycotts and those boycotts, Skip, he got sent to jail like the regular people. Kyrie got $17, $18 million, where the people in New York that didn't get the vaccine got zero. So you don't get to be a martyr unless you're suffering the same fate as the people you're fighting for.
Agreed. Okay, so here we have Kyrie, who is again and again over the last couple of years made reference to, I blew it with LeBron.
Right.
I have matured. I have seen the error of my younger ways. And he constantly has given you the impression that he would love a do-over. He would love a second opportunity to reconnect, reunite, and redo it all with LeBron, to right the wrong that he created with LeBron.
Right.
Okay? I don't know how much money really matters to him right now, even though, to your point, I believe he lost $17 million because of his vaccination stance. And he also lost his signature shoe deal with Nike. And I don't know how much that would have cost him, but
he probably get at least 15 million, 15, maybe 20 million with that.
Somewhere in that ballpark. So there's another loss. But he has made a ton of money in his career, obviously, because he was the first over. He's just max all the way through, right? He's made as much money as you could possibly make up to this point at age 30.
Right.
And I'm going to assume he doesn't strike me as a spendthrift type. I could be wrong, but I'm going to assume that he has saved a lot of money.
Correct.
I'm going to assume that he is financially capable of saying, hell with you, Mr. Sy and Sean Marks and Steve Nash, hell with you guys. I'm going to take that $6 million, what's it called, taxpayer exception that the Lakers have, $6 million, and you say, big haircut, I got you. But if anybody would take that kind of haircut, it would be this guy, because this guy has gone against the grain every time that there's been a crossroads. He always took the weirdest fork, because he's a kind of a kooky, wacky young man in sometimes a good way.
He marched to the beat of his own drum. It's only a beat that he can hear.
Okay.
But Skip, here's the thing. When you said, well, he's made enough money. I've heard a lot of people say, man, I got too many shoes. I got too many pairs. I got too many clothes. I've never heard somebody say, man, I got too much money. Man, I'm good. I got too much money. No,
I got you. That is the golden rule. That is the gold rules. That is the truth. I've heard that my whole life. Going back to my days with Texas E. Schramm, who was the founding father of the Cowboys. I went and said that about somebody. He's got enough money. Nobody, said Tex Schramm, ever has enough money. We're talking about some Rockefeller. Nobody has ever have enough. Okay, I got it. We are talking about mold shatterer here. And frankly, I'm actually trying to give you some new front to run with here, because I think it's very realistic that he, of all people, would make that choice to rejoin him, of all people.
Yeah, Skip, but he's made a lot of money, but the financial independence that it really would cost for you to say, F this. I don't believe he's reached that status yet. Considering you need the Oprah money, you need billions to be able to have the financial independence. Now you can say, but Skip, he's 30. He has an opportunity to make $250 million, and you're gonna say, nah, I'm gonna walk away from that because what?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you this. As I said, to me, Brooklyn's got no leverage, zero leverage.
They don't.
They have no choice. They are so stuck. They are so, as I said yesterday, damned if you do and damned if you don't.
Yes.
Damned if you do, because you're going to give him 5 years and $250 guaranteed million.
And you've just given
beyond Deshaun money, right?
And you've given him even more power.
You would.
Because now, at least if you got him for a year, let's say he picks up the option and +1.
Okay.
He's like, you know what? I can stomach this. But 3 years down the road?
Okay. But right now, I think they're going to have to come to the reality that this is simply the cost of doing business. Because without him, you're dead in the water to me. Because without him, if he just simply, he has the choice by June 29th, he can just say, I'm out.
Right.
I opt out.
Correct.
I can hit the market.
Yes.
He has the ability to go free agent on the open market. and leave them high and dry with only really what's left of Ben Simmons. I have no idea. I don't know what he's got. I don't know what he's got left psychologically or physically coming off a serious back injury, surgery. Okay, so Kevin Durant, as Woj points out, the buzzards are circling as we speak because a lot of teams are waiting. Is it possible KD's going to get left alone there and just say, get me out of here, where some nice trade package from some middling team might land Kevin Durant somewhere else,
You're right, Skip. But shouldn't Brooklyn have done its homework? Hold on. The guy left LeBron, who's still in his prime. You're going to finals. You're competing for titles every single year, and you didn't want that. You go to a team that got the 3rd pick in Jason Tatum. You got a top, 5 or 6 pick in Jaylen Brown. You got a 1st-round pick in Marcus Smart. You have all these pieces, and he didn't like that. And we don't, Skip, we don't have to recruit him. We don't have to recruit him. He shows up on our door. You didn't think, now, hold on, wait a minute. Normally, Miami, all these teams that wanted LeBron had to recruit him. All these teams that wanted Kevin Durant had to recruit him. All these teams that wanted these top free agents had to recruit him.
Well, not only did he show up on your doorstep, he brought this other guy. He brought somebody way better than he is.
Yes,
to me, right?
So he just shows up like, and you don't think, well, damn, this guy. If it sounds too good, if it looks too good to be true, what Skip is, it probably is.
No, the only NFL equivalent is when Peyton knocked on your Broncos door.
Yes.
Hey, can I play? Yeah.
I do you one better. What about Tom Brady knocking on Tampa Bay's door? And guess what he brought with him? He brought Gronk with him.
He did. Yep. I agree.
But at least Tom has stayed 20 years with one organization. Gronk has stayed 8, 9 years with one organization. It wasn't a situation where if Tom still felt he could win championships and situations were great, I believe he would have stayed. I don't believe Tom ever wanted to leave New England. That was Coach Belichick forcing his hand.
And because I think Mr. Kraft in the very end finally said, it's my call, and I'm sorry.
I'm siding with Coach Belichick. But Skip, that should have raised a flag that a guy that's with LeBron James in his prime, and you're going to the championship every year, you're competing for titles, and he wants out of that. And he didn't want to be in Boston. He wanted out of that, and he just shows up like, hey, man, guess what? I'm coming to Brooklyn, and I'm bringing KD with me. He's like, really? Yeah, we're going to come to you. I mean, you want to hear our pitch, where we want to go and how we want to do this? No, we good.
Okay. So I'm going to flip this around. I'm going to do the hypothetical. What if my 35% chance hits? You might say hits the lottery because you're a 0.1 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
What if Kyrie comes to the Lakers for $6 million for 1 year? Well, now we're to the point of, I've told you before, I don't trust him anymore because I don't know how you can trust him. But would I trust him at $6 million for 1 year?
Oh,
you better believe
everybody trust him at $6 million for 1 year.
For just 1 year? Yeah. Are you kidding me? Then if you could, and we're going to talk about this in a few minutes, if you could get out from under Russell Westbrook, if you could get out from under it at some minimal cost, maybe you lose THT. We're going to talk about the potential that's been suggested of Russ going back to Oklahoma City, whether you believe it or not. But if you could just get him to Charlotte, to Michael Jordan or whatever as an expiring contract, get out from under that and add Kyrie at $6 million, you can say I'm doing pie in the sky. I think I'm doing more pie on the horizon because it's got some realistic chance.
Well, Skip, that's the problem that you have is that you got this $47 million albatross. Let's just say for the sake of argument, it wasn't there. Now there's a lot of destination. Bradley Beal possibly opted out and maybe signing with the Lakers. You have the Kyrie situation. You have a Zach LaVine situation. But because you have that $47 million albatross, I mean, what do you do?
Okay, but if you could work your magic and get out from under it, if somebody, Oklahoma City or Charlotte, would take him off your hands at a price where you're going to have to pay with a pick or a player. But if you could, and you wind up with LeBron going into year 20 and AD, God knows whether he'll stay healthy or motivated, but you still have Anthony Davis in the heart of his prime and Kyrie at age 30, I give you a shot. You're back in, quote-unquote, contention anyway. At least you're a player now. At least you're a factor, right?
You said if they could just make Russ disappear. Harry Houdini, David Copperfield, and Chris Angel together couldn't make that $47 million contract disappear.
I think you got chance. There's been reported that Jordan's got interest in the expiring contract for 1 year, so he could take 47 off his book.
So in other words, Jordan gonna do that so he can hear Skip Bayless beat him up again. This is what makes Michael Jordan the worst general manager owner in the history of sports.
Well, we're going to talk about, would Sam Presti say, yeah, I'll take Russ just for 1 year as sort of a circus attraction, because they love him there, and he had his greatest moments there.
Yes.
Okay, but my point is, okay, let's do the other hypothetical. Okay. What if you're stuck with Russ and you add Kyrie?
No, you can't do that.
Okay, well, again, they would butt heads fast,
yes.
I would think. But still, maybe you could, maybe Darvin Ham is more of a miracle worker than I think. He'd have to be really strong. He'd have to be the new sheriff in town to ride herd over that group. But your ability, your star power, your talent level rises exponentially if you add Kyrie to this mix.
No.
At least you got a chance. I'm surprised you're not doing handsprings.
No, because, Skip, I like to do, I'm a realist. At some point in time, yes, I would like to say, oh, you know what? But I just don't see it as long as Russ is there. He's the fly in the ointment, Skip, no matter how good it looks. If you see a fly on something, and no matter how, I'm good. I'm out.
That fly's lost a lot of his athleticism. He can't get out of the ointment.
I'm good. I don't even care how good it looks. I see a fly land on it. No, I'm good, bro.
You're out?
Yep.
Waiter, I got a fly in my soup.
Yeah, I'm good. Nope. Check. Would you like another one? No, I'm good.
I agree, Shannon.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.